So welcome to this coaching clinic today, where we're really exploring the difference between when you think you should be doing something versus an actual desire to do something. I find that this is an area that I was getting caught up in recently, but equally it's an area that a lot of my clients come to me with, where they're just so hard on themselves about what they think they should be doing. So I really want today's coaching clinic to lay the groundwork and to reestablish, let's say, for those of you that are regulars, to reestablish and to lay the groundwork for knowing the difference between your wisdom talking, your desires speaking to you, and just an intellectual annoying voice in your head, who we sometimes refer to as Bob the drunk guy, telling you that you should be doing something. So as we get started here, just close your eyes. We'll go into a nice guided visualization to ground ourselves first. And just take a couple of deep breaths with me. So in through the nose and out through the mouth. In through the nose and out through the mouth. One more time, in through the nose and out through the mouth. So you're really just letting yourself get grounded here, and close your eyes and see roots coming from your feet down through the ground, right down to the underground, right down to that rock at the bottom of the earth. Remember that that rock is there to support you and to help you. And it really is surrounded in your own golden light. So let that rock emanate light now. And let that light move up from the rock, all the way up through the underground, the ground, in through the roots, up through the feet, up into the ankles, up through the lower legs, up to the kneecaps, up to the thighs. So this golden light is really supporting you and healing you and moving any energy that's stagnant right now. And see this golden light continue to move up through your pelvis, through your abdomen, through your torso, right up through to your shoulders, through your neck, through your head, and out and down through the arms and out through the hands, the fingertips. You're completely supported by this golden light. And allowing yourself now to just set an intention for this moment, this clinic, what you want to get from today, what's important to you, any sort of questions you've been pondering on. Set your intention that you'll receive your highest answer. Now visualize in front of you a golden path. And in order to walk on this golden path, you'll need to open a little white gate. Opening that gate now, walk along this golden path until you reach a lake at the top of the path. Notice your surroundings, and without too much questioning, I want you to see an animal. First one comes to mind. Now, after this clinic today, feel free to Google the spiritual meaning of the animal you just saw. But in the meantime, just notice the beauty of this animal. And see that this animal, let's call it a power animal, is inviting you to walk with it further around the lake and up onto another golden path. So you're walking with this animal now, being guided, being taken care of. And as you walk with this animal, you reach a bench. Sit down on the bench for a moment. This is the bench of knowledge. All good things come from this bench where clarity can emerge. You're high up now, looking down onto the lake and onto the former golden paths you've walked. And on this bench sits you and your power animal. Some of you will hear answers, others of you will see images. Some of you will get things in your dream state tonight. But use this opportunity as you sit on the bench of knowledge to invite any question you have and to ask it directly to this power animal. Take a few moments now and notice what answers you receive, if any. Thank your power animal, knowing that ultimately she or he is a source to wisdom. And now step up from the bench and walk together back along the golden path towards the lake and around the lake, walking towards the former golden path and down along that path until you reach the white gate. Give thanks again and perhaps embrace this animal if it feels right. And now step back as you open the white gate, step down into your body. Imagine roots coming from your feet down through the ground, down through the underground, and right down to a rock at the bottom of the earth. And wrap those roots around that rock. Golden light is emanating your entire being. And as you feel grounded, come back to the room. Write down the animal you saw if you'd like, or any answer you got. I'll give you a minute to do that. Just going to grab a jacket. And just being here now. So as I took a run this morning, I felt this real need to move my body. And as I took this run, I was on this beautiful path, and a black snake crossed my path. It's still quite warm here, but it's unusual for snakes still to be out. And I've always been a believer in if an animal crosses your path, you can have a spiritual meaning. And I looked up the spiritual meaning of the black snake, and I discovered it was about rebirth, which is certainly the season I'm in. And that rebirth has invited me, as it will invite you, to really get honest with yourselves, with what it is you truly want, what it is your mind keeps bringing to you, even though you think, well, that's frivolous, or that's not possible, or that's going to take too long, or that's not ideal. And what I've noticed over time is so many of the clients that I have engaged with, even colleagues, I spoke a couple of colleagues that I mastermind with, to have gotten caught in what they think they should do, and they should be producing a business, and they should be producing achieving something, they should be out there serving in a different way. And when we really get to the core of it, what becomes evident is that they think it's up to them to make it happen, and there's no room or space for life to come in and lead the way. Now, if there's one thing I've gotten good at in the last number of years, it's letting life take me by the hand, even when I don't like it, rather than initiating direction. And what I've discovered is, as life takes me by the hand, things work out in ways that I couldn't have come up with. My own journey of going from school teacher to coach is an example. I could never have come up with move to Italy, start an international coaching business, travel the world, host retreats, be in Forbes, be in media, have my own business. I could never have come up with any of that. If I had been in charge, I would have come up with, I'll just go and I'll find a different job, but I'll stay in the same city and I'll just find something else to do rather than be a school teacher. So I've really learned to lean on trusting what life has on offer. And that comes from a different place than should. Sometimes what life puts on offer isn't what we would want. Today marks 10 months that Francesco has died. That's still life leading me by the hand, even though I don't particularly like how that looks, even though I would prefer that not to be the case. And yet, I have a deep faith that there's something else in charge. The same energy that's beating your heart right now, digesting your food, the same energy that heals a cut on your hand when you maybe hurt yourself with a knife peeling potatoes or whatever. That energy is what we want to rely on a lot more in our day-to-day lives. And so as you go about shoulding yourself, I really want you to see your shoulds and it as an invitation to get out of the way, as an invitation to, as a reminder that you're taking on way more than you need to be, dropping out of faith with this intelligence. As we let this intelligence lead us without judging what's happening, we come alive. I've been in a season of coming alive and not judging it as best I can. Parties and invitations and fashion shows and dining out and doing everything but what my mind thinks I should be doing. And as I have gone in that direction of desire, and that's again the intelligence coming in and planting the seeds of desire. That's not little Grace coming up with, well, what should I do today that might make me feel better? As I have gone in the direction of following the desires that the intelligence has planted, and without judging them, I have noticed a rise in energy, vitality, enthusiasm, liveliness, less stuckness, less grief, less, more joy. That's not unique to me. I really want you to hear that. That's just getting out of the way and getting honest with oneself. Maybe you do just love going to the salon every morning, or maybe your priority tends to be, you know, cooking healthy foods, or maybe you notice that your constant shifting of focus goes towards how you can help people. See, none of those are a mistake. That's your unique. And the more you can allow yourself to go in those directions that seem a bit like unimportant, oops, went off there. Robin, were you going to speak to us? No. So I was just asking, is this making sense to people? Is there anything you want to bring forth as a question, or a yeah but? Anything that comes to mind for you?
I think so. It's not a yeah, but, and I want to say that I'm really grateful that I showed up to this call, because this is the piece that I tend to forget, the piece that you've coached me on, and it just feels really good. It felt like coming back home into my body to hear you speak about this again. And it made me kind of teary. Sometimes I just feel a little confused between, you know, there are things that I put into action and that I do and that I feel like I'm in charge of. And often it's because I'm, you know, needing to make money. So for me, it's always this loop of like, that's what I have to do. But I know there's some deeper, it's challenging to get away from that, I think, and find I will say I have left space in other areas of my life for what you're talking about, where I'm just sort of letting that gentle guidance come through.
Mhm.
And when it comes to creating things, I think for clients, it's still feeling like it's not coming from that place. It's coming from me, being too much in charge because there needs to be money in the bank. Like that, there's this, plus this equals this. And so I get confused, I think, or I have a hard time really trusting.
Mhm.
That makes sense.
Well, that's very common, Amy. Thank you for being so honest, because I don't think there's anybody in this call that doesn't resonate with, falling into taking the reins when it comes to money, but really not trusting the intelligence.
We lost you a little bit, or you're frozen. I imagine she'll hop back on in a minute. That's so interesting, Marie Pierre. Yeah, I feel that way too. We lost Grace. She is.
Oh, sorry, ladies. I'm not sure what's happened with the internet. Oh, good to see you here, Lisa. I was saying to Amy, the fact that you can see that you don't always let go over there when it comes to the money, when it comes to the business, is huge. I know it doesn't seem huge that you can see that, but it means that when you are creating, Amy, you're going to really know when you're pushing versus coming from that inspired place. Does that make sense, Amy?
Yeah.
And then you have free will to make a better choice. Then you have free will to, I know I'm pushing. I can feel the urgency. I can feel myself getting tense. My shoulder blades are starting to get sore. My neck's getting tight. You start to get familiar with your symptoms of pushing. And this is where you then get smarter, because of course you can keep pushing, but any of those symptoms, I now see those as invitations to take my foot off the gas and go back to the drawing board. One of the things you and I have explored, which is very common, is, innocently thinking we have to bring tension to our work life in order to succeed. I mean, lots of people relate to that. But that tension, that feeling of tension, is a wonderful friend letting you know, take the gun away from your head. So you're in the season of practicing the muscle of faith and trust when it comes to your business.
Yes, that's a good way to put it. Yeah.
What area of life do you notice that you are able to just trust the intelligence in?
I think somewhat in my friendships with others, in my relationship, I'm learning that more and more. And even I guess in the creating of what I want to offer in terms of service, that's starting to happen. I think I feel it mostly in like a day-to-day sense. If it's not related, if it's not related to, yeah, work, we're bringing, so because that tension creeps in as soon as it's about, I have to email these people, I have to set up this, I have to create a sales page, anything around that, then it becomes that I'm in charge energy just like rushes in. So I would say like almost everything else, I've really softened and learned to lean back, I think is how I think of it.
Well, let me ask you this. Do you like doing any of those things? The sales page, the this, the that, the other?
Yeah, well, that's the question, right? No, not really. I
Right.
like
So,
communicating with people. I like being in relationship with people. So it's fun to have that back and forth. And I've been on sales calls that were, when I think of them, when I sort of reframe it and I remind myself that I'm in a conversation with somebody, then it is fun. But it's the thinking about it in terms of like, this is for my business and I have to, succeed, if that makes sense. Yeah, so it's like a different gear, I guess, or shifting out of that gear where I'm in charge full throttle and into neutral. I don't know.
yeah, neutral is a good place.
Mhm.
See, that's what it sounds like to me. It's like you don't even like doing that stuff. So of course there would be a feeling of needing to shift gears. I mean, I hate cleaning my house, so I have to shift gears dramatically to try and put all the clothes away and put everything away. And then of course it makes sense to me to hire someone to do that for me, and that's what I do. But in the meantime, when I have to do it, I have to shift gears. So I wouldn't overthink this kind of like as if there's something wrong with you around this piece, as if you're kind of cut off from the intelligence when it comes to this piece. I would just notice, oh, I just expect myself to do shit that I actually don't enjoy. And here's the great news for you. All business is built on relationships and rapport, which is what I hear you're really good at.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I have a number of colleagues, and myself included, who have gone through periods of time where we just don't even bother with the sales page or the pitch or the webinar or the marketing aspect. We just get on the phone to the people that we know love us and say, hey, we've got something fresh and new here. What do you think? Are you interested? Or instant messenger. I think I've sold most of my programs through instant messenger in the last 2 years, or WhatsApp.
Yeah, that's very helpful. And that's just a way of like, for me, thinking of it as doing what I enjoy. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the things.
Thank you for your question and your honesty. It really helps everybody. Who else would like to come on and share if they have anything? I think I thought I saw a question, but I don't see it now. Marie-Pierre, I'm not sure if you wrote a question in, but I don't see it now, darling. So if you have a question or you have anybody wants to share, please come on. There's a flavor of feeling that comes with wisdom, and there's a flavor of feeling that comes with should. So I want to talk about that for a couple of minutes. Because if you can really get this bit, and I'm just going to spotlight the video here. If you can really get familiar with the flavor of feeling you're in, you will honestly know when to stop listening, when to proceed, what's true, what's not true. So a flavor of should, and I think these flavors might be personal rather than universal, but you can decide for yourself. A flavor of should, for me, tends to come with a feeling of worry. So I'll be going along, enjoying my life, and then at some point I'll get this feeling of this is too much, Grace. You're going to have to pipe down. You're going to have to get on the horse. You're going to have to, you can't keep going like this. So Bob the drunk guy will start literally shoulding all over my day. So I'll be cooking and the flavor will be worry, and I'll be going to the beauticians and the flavor will be worry. I fall out of presence and enjoyment and into a feeling of worry. And if I don't catch that quick enough, then what starts to happen is alarm bells begin to go off in my system. One being, as I said, a lack of enjoyment. So a lack of presence, excuse me. One of the big ones being a lack of presence. So I start to be with people, but I'm not listening to them. I start to, everything just starts to get heavier. My sense of humor drops dramatically. Irritation and irritability start to arise. People become bitches and bastards in my mind. So we have this incredible built-in system alerting us all the time, beep, 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 for whether or not we're in a flavor of should or a flavor of wisdom. Now, when we're in a flavor of wisdom, it looks to me like we're just present. There's no extra conversation going on. We're enjoying the moment we're in. We're not jumping ahead to the future. The body is quite calm and relaxed. There's no feedback mechanisms or alerts going on, except perhaps a smile, a good sense of humor, happiness, you know, of course, those positive feelings. So as you get familiar with the feeling you're living in, you will start to know whether or not you can trust what you're hearing in your head. Marie-Pierre, thank you. You've got a question. Come on, darling.
Hi, can you hear me? Because my internet connection is not really good.
It's excellent, excellent.
Okay. Thank you for this interaction and call. And it's great to see you again. How do you do to sustain it? Because I have this wisdom from times to times, but that I get into fear because I'm not producing results. Like if I just let myself, I just do nothing. And then I'm like, oh my God, I have to do something regarding my business. And I cannot sustain this level of inspiration and wisdom and joy. I can have it for like 2 or 3 days, but then there's fear and panic coming back because I have to produce some results. And if I just let myself be, I don't produce anything. So I don't know, you bridge being presence, wisdom with creating results and not getting into fear and tension and comparison and all of this.
Yeah, I love that question. I think that's the question on most people's minds, Marie-Pierre, so thanks for asking it. A couple of things. You want to honor the times that you are living in your wisdom. You said a couple of days at a time, and then I drop back into what sounds like the worry habit. So I really want you to appreciate that if you're getting a couple of days at a time, that's more than a couple of hours at a time. And I know that probably doesn't look great right now, but I work with people who don't even get a day of letting themselves off the worry hook. They just live constantly with a gun to their head. So this is a sign of progress for you. If you're even getting a few days, good for you. Okay, honor that bit. What I'm inviting here in our conversations is a complete turnaround from everything you've been taught, which is, for all of us, I have to worry in order to get things done, or I have to bring tension in order to get things done. I can't make results unless I'm, quote unquote, killing myself in the process. And that's the biggest lie we've been taught. It's what I once described as the American hustle, but we know it's not unique to America. There is another way to produce and create in this world that is not based on having a gun to your head. And so if your current belief system is all or nothing, I'm either in my being and doing nothing, or I'm in my creating results and I'm killing myself in the process, you just want to be gentle with yourself that that's currently how you're seeing the world, that myth currently looks real to you. And innocently, Marie-Pierre, you know, me too, initially, I didn't have a lot of experience with creating results from a peaceful place. I was so exhausted creating from the push and the hustle that the moment I got to relax, I was just flanked out the whole time. I just couldn't do anything. I was just so tired the whole time. It was like, it was all or nothing. Now, here's the hope. What happens is, as you start to wake up to that flavor of creating from tension and stress, as you start to notice yourself in that, as you start to see you're doing that, you literally lean back, like Amy said. It's automatic. You begin to lean back. You begin to catch yourself in the hustle and you make a better decision. In your case, the decision will become, oh, there I go again, thinking I need to produce results from stress and tension. Oh, I'll be smarter in a couple of minutes. And so you want to, Marie-Pierre, just be really patient with yourself in this process. You don't want this to become another thing you use to beat yourself up on. But I can promise you that your results have nothing to do with the level of tension and worry and stress you get yourself into as you're producing and creating. You just think there's some relationship between the two, and there's not. What are you hearing in that, Marie-Pierre?
That resonates, and I'm still in the same. I try to get what you mean, and it's a bit challenging. There's still like, I'm still into yes, but I have to I have to know, I have to make the right decisions. I have to, like right now, I hesitate between two, again, coaching programs on how to better my business and better my coaching business. And so I'm constantly overthinking it. And there's like this pressure of making the right decision, not making a mistake again. And it's pretty much like this all day for everything.
Yeah.
Like even when I have to post, even when I create an offer, there's this constriction versus and fear and tension versus, and I know like the best would be to just do something.
Well, can I share with you what I do when I'm up against the wall like that?
Yes, please.
I don't do anything. I don't make any decision with a gun to my head.
Okay.
So you're getting the flavor of should. You mentioned to me, you think you should choose one of these programs, but I'm hearing in that you have to make a decision, and it's stressful and it's tension and it sounds like worry. Those are your invitations to step back, not to launch forward with one decision or another. But as you step back and you get quiet, it will occur to you if one of those programs is supposed to be yours. I'd invite you to remember that your ability to improve your business and to coach and to whatever is not dependent on which one of those programs you join. And if it looks to you like it is, then of course there's going to be pressure to make the right decision. This is where the intelligence needs to be allowed to take over. And I know when there's urgency involved and it really looks like I just have to have one of those, then I'll be okay. I feel like that sometimes about like chocolate and biscuits and cakes here. But then you kind of wake up to, hang on a minute, who made that up? Who made it up that I got to choose one of these correctly, otherwise I'm not going to be okay. So just quieten down, come back to your center. You now know the flavor of should or Bob in your head, Marie-Pierre. And let's see what unfolds. When you don't have a lot of experience creating results from a place of presence and peace, then you want to be patient with yourself. That's for everybody. If you have a lot of experience creating results from tension, stress, and worry, of course you'll automatically go into tension, stress, and worry every time you're in your business trying to create something. Or let's say you're helping somebody who's sick or unwell, and it looks it looks to you like the way you can actually help these people is to get into tension, stress, and worry. It's all optional. All of that is optional as you go about your beautiful life. But have patience with yourself when you do fall into that. I just want you all to get familiar with those feelings and to remind you that those feelings don't have any relationship to your success or your creations or your results. Those feelings of tension, stress, and worry have only one thing to tell you. You've got a gun to your head. Step away. And when the gun comes down, you'll be better at what you do. You'll be wiser in what decision you make. You'll help people in a way you didn't even realize you were able to. And you'll make a decision that suits you. I've got time probably for one more question, then I've got to close. Does anybody else have a question? And thank you, Marie-Pierre, that was wonderful. Anybody else want to come on, ask a question? Amy, I'm not sure if you put your hand up there, but feel free to come on.
Hi, Grace.
Hi.
Can I just quickly say something? It's not necessarily a question. Thank you. I just want to say, and sorry, Amy, if you've got a question, I'll be quick. I just want to say thank you. I've just resonated with your answers there so well to Marie-Pierre, to Amy, and your shoulds and your wisdoms. And I think I'm finally hearing these from you really clearly. I know I've heard them a few times, but now they're really, really making sense. And yesterday, strangely, I didn't catch it, but I've caught it today. That's what happened to me yesterday. I was sort of stressing over something, as Amy was saying, that I was trying to get to create because I knew that's what I sort of wanted and needed, and it wasn't working. And it's the second time I'd tried it. So I'm thinking, okay, let it go. It's obviously not meant to be happening right now. And I've been where Marie-Pierre is on courses and programs that I think, oh, I've really got to take this. This is what I need for my business. Pushed myself into it, spent a lot of money, totally regretted it. It didn't resonate with me. I didn't move forward with the information because it really didn't help me. I wasn't into doing it that way. So I'm seeing now from past experience where I've made my wrong decisions. And I think the more that you're telling us how to do these things gently and quietly from being centered, I'm finding by centering myself every day, I'm now starting to get different results. I'm approaching things more calmly. And things are just sort of coming to me accidentally that I didn't initiate, but was what I was wanting that could happen. So, I'm hearing you loud and clear. Your message is coming through really great today. And just a huge thank you from me in that regard. Much appreciated.
You're so welcome. And thank you to those of you that take the time to ask a question, because you're drawing out of me what you need. And you notice it helps everybody in the group. So really well done. And I just want to point out, Robin, you're receiving those opportunities because you're not pushing anymore. Like, that's what I meant earlier about letting life lead us instead of us initiating everything. And it's one of the hardest things to do, especially in today's world where we women are supposed to, own our power and be out there making it happen, just like the men. There's an element of that is actually quite harmful because we do really well receiving life's invitations rather than initiating life's invitations. I'm not saying never initiate, but you know where I'm with that. So sounds to me like space has opened for you, Robin. Space has opened and you're able to be there experiencing that. So everybody, I hope this was helpful today. We're back every Tuesday. Keep an eye on the timing just in case it changes. Please use this space as an opportunity to deepen your understanding of how the mind works and how powerful you really are. And as things come up, I'll keep you posted. As things become available, I'll keep you posted. Be sure you're in the Facebook group so you see things there. And we'll see you next week. Thanks for your questions, everybody. Lots of love. Ciao.
Thank you. Thank you, Grace.
Ciao. Bye.
Thank you so much. Wonderful. Your apartment looks great.
I love it.